Welcome to episode 85 of my 248k modded Factorio run with a 10 times science multiplier on a ribbon world and a little Railgrid that's pretty bad, but that's fine. And yeah, base is kind of ticking along, doing its stuff. It's like doing everything I set up the automation to do, and we're going to complain about that a bit. There's a bunch of different things to talk about, things I want to do next, which all, in various tangential ways, come back and connect to this here request chest, which we'll come back to at, some later point. Let's go and start with the other automation stuff that's turning up over here. So we've automated where we've got production bonuses in the satellites here, because it turns out that's a thing we can do. So of course these satellites are pretty expensive, so we're now getting productivity bonuses in the satellites, which is weird. We're making all these trains as well, which is pretty fantastic, and they can also have productivity bonuses, so we put productivity bonuses in the trains because these things are pretty expensive. Compact fusion cells, why are we not? Because these things require the portable fusion reactors, and the portable fusion reactors require blue chips, which is pretty much the thing we're waiting on. Like, all of these rockets are ready to go, they've all got their components, they just don't have launch payloads, because the way all of these things are set up, they all will eat a lot of blue chips, and are all circuit conditioned to check how many satellites I have in this here box, which is where all the blue chips are going, to make sure we get enough space science before we start launching all those other rockets that will be doing all of these kind of ore caching things. But we've already got like 6,500 ore over there doing that thing, so that's kind of fine. And then it turns out that we are in fact banking a decent amount of space science, because I'm actually lab speed limited, which, I mean, kind of surprised me, but also not. If we look at, let's go to like an hour and find one of these sites. Actually, it's going to need to be more than an hour, isn't it? Because we're not going to see it. So there was a bunch of stuff of where we were changing things. It was all pretty bad. Here is allegedly stable, but also this is not 1,500 science per minute. This up here is the 1,500 per science per minute that we want to hit. But the thing is, I was looking at the lab speed when this 1,500 was for 60-second in-game vanilla techs, and it turns out these techs, this is the thing I already knew about, it just kind of overlooked, is this speed is longer than 60 seconds, and we're actually now limited by lab speed, so we probably need some more labs, but we're also kind of limited by blue chips. Like, if we look at expanding the labs are going to be a thing we're going to do at some point. That's not the blue chips, that's the red chips. This is the blue chips here, and we're just sad about not actually having enough blue chips. These blue chips is cranking along pretty nicely, though. It's not unhappy about anything. If we go back to, let's go back to where get rid of this thing, and then find. That's what we wanted, and then find the blue chips somewhere. And we're still making quite a lot of them, aren't we? I should be making, so we're still making 1.7 thousand blue chips a minute, which is what, 1,800 is a full red belt. So we're short of blue chips, but we're also still just cranking out the blue chips since we kind of fixed this again, working on things, it's fine. So the other way to look at this is we are cranking out a full red belt of blue chips, basically, and the base is using all of them. But also the next thing that struck me is that, even if we are doing 1.5 thousand science per minute from all of these, the things we're looking at are not that one, this one. 500,000 science, 1,000,000 science, 1,000,000 science. This other one here that we also want because it boosts beacon effects, which is pretty wild, also ends up 1,000,000 science. And that's still going to take me like 50 hours to do if I'm doing 4.5 million science at 1,500 science per minute. And I don't think I have 50 hours of stuff left to automate. I don't really want to sit around here for 50 hours. The thing we did automate last time, I think these are the new pattern. These are these magnets that are now just full, and I don't really like the idea of these guys stopping, so we're just going to cache another whole box of those magnets, because why not? So yeah, so I think we're in the space where we basically need to double everything, and maybe triple the labs, maybe rearrange these labs so there's a different beacon pattern somewhere else. Yeah, maybe double everything, and then actually triple the blue chips, which is an odd place to end up. And yeah, so let's, I guess, start smacking some of that around. We'll see the issues with, yeah, I don't need to fuel these trains anymore either, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I guess let's just wander over here, because I think we're going to go and just build a bunch of stuff on this side of the base. Because I think everything else is, yeah, we're kind of limited by only having a red belt of blue chips, air quotes only. And we're just going to build more of that. The thing is, let's actually find this blue chips pattern. We're on a grid. We can do a bunch of good stuff about doubling builds by just like going, let's just grab this entire set, and the blue chips is going to get some other stuff that we kind of don't want, but we can clip that out later. Let's just grab all of this and put it, where can we put it? Let's change this to manual so we can go back to the map, and then we actually can't kind of drift forwards and backwards there, can we? Where do we put it? Do we put it over here? Do we put it, let's put it here. Is that in, yeah, we need to kind of, the thing is, there's also, one of the issues with this is, yeah, there's a lot of request chests which are going to start doing silly things. There's also a lot of train stations which are going to start pulling resources in, and then this is also still on the main grid, and we kind of don't want that at all yet. So I think the first thing we do is we get ourselves, yeah, this deletion planner, which is going to filter for train stations and requester chests, and then also for reasons, tier 3 beacons. And then this thing, we kind of have to sweep over this entire area, so that we don't call in trains that we don't want, and then we also don't accidentally, yeah, call in trains we don't want. We don't then request in resources we don't want, because this is still on the main grid. And the thing is, there's a couple of other bits we don't want here. Like there's no uranium mining over to the other side, so this whole thing here need not exist. What was? Yeah, and then this one, this train station through here was also the uranium mining, wasn't it? That was where stuff was coming out, and then also these. So there's a bunch of tidying and stuff to do, and other things that we need to bring over, and all that kind of stuff. But basically, we need to knock something like this out, so we can just boost our blue chips. And you might be wondering, I thought we. Yeah, and then some of these things also don't work because they're all still connected to the rubber ports. Oh well. Then also, did we not copy all of that? Why did we not copy all of that? Should we not have copied all of that? Never mind. Yeah, you might be wondering where we're going to get the stuff from, because previously in the other blue chips build, we had, where's all the way over this side of the base? Cool. Yeah, we had this star engine with this water, doing star engine things, and yeah, this coal we didn't need. Yeah, this was the train station here we didn't need. Wow, is that just working full time now? Which one is this? Is this the copper one? Probably the copper one. Anyway, never mind. Yeah, that kind of supply isn't going to work for the new blue chips that we just threw down, because we don't have this water here. So what's the plan for that? And then also, we had to take out all these beacons from the new blue chips build because we're kind of at the limit of not having any more beacons. So we also kind of need to work on the techs that will get us more beacon capacity. I think there are a couple of places where we can do different stuff like that first, but also let's make the bot queue worse by just having some other things that we want to also build over here. Like here's another 2 stations of ceramic composites. So let's just grab this entire thing. And I think I also need to move some water over here for this one. But this one is... Yeah, we've got to get temporary water over here. But that's also... Oh, then all this stuff doesn't need to be here anymore. Yeah, we need to get temporary water over here. But also this one doesn't need to be snapped off the grid. Which is super nice because there's no request chests other than the train fuel and then also I guess the drill parts. And then there's also no upgraded beacons, but we still... Actually, do we? I don't think we need to snap the train. We don't need to, yeah, because of that, because of the fact that we don't need to snap this off the grid, we also don't need to worry about deleting the train stations. So we can probably just go... here looks like a good spot. Let's, yeah, we're manual here, so we're going to go forwards to this bit that doesn't have... Yeah, let's not completely block the intersection. Not too many trees. Sure, so let's now go, and we've got to flip this around because we took it from the top to the bottom, and we can just go, hey, we've just doubled ceramic composites, that's cool. And then the other one that we wanted from the other side of the map is this thing here? Yeah, this is the fiberglass node, isn't it? Yeah, and this has the same thing as the ceramic composites. In fact, very similar setup, just a different process and things coming out. So let's also just grab this entire thing here. I just got out of the train, didn't I? I did get out of the train. And then let's figure out where we're going to put this. Let's put this here? Sure. All of these things also have... it needs to go this way, doesn't it? Yeah, these things all have their own train stations. So I'm not even worried in this case about, like, these things hanging on the grid. What we do need to do is get rid of this train signal, because that is a weirdness that we probably will need to worry about. Yeah, so we're gonna do, I mean, we're gonna give the bots a bunch of beacons and stuff like that. Well, yeah, a bunch of jobs, just like actually quite a lot of jobs. But the subsequent questions are that you might be wondering about is how are we gonna get all the things that the blue chips need here, and then these are the intermediates that kind of, in a sense, don't matter. Why are you turning up here? Oh, because you requested ceramics. Yeah, so I guess we should go and get... Yeah, let's go back to... Are we on the train? We are on the train. Let's go back to the core. These new fuelless trains are super fast. They're pretty good. Yeah, so the other thing is, if we are attempting to expand purple and or yellow science, or even expanding red chips, or even doubling green chips over here, like how are we going to deal with the fact that we don't have any of these beacons? Because all these builds without beacons will kinda suck. So let's try and get this thing. Yeah, you need to come back to the build, and then your next kind of set of destinations for a while is going to be the East Depot. Yeah, we'll just do that, and then also let's find... You're probably going to need... We did give you a bunch of quarries, didn't we? In fact, we can probably check how many quarries. Probably like 30 quarries or so. Yeah, so the next kind of beacons plan thing is we need more beacons, and I think there are a couple of places where we can just clip beacons off. Like, I did notice that over here, yeah, these two don't need to be here. We can find somewhere. Are these? Yeah. We can just put these beacons back like so, and that'll be enough of a speed boost for these gear wheels. I mean, they're fine. Then another place we can save these beacons is, I think there's one of these LDS builds. None of these ones. Is there an LDS build over here? Nope, that one's changed to the other beacons. Maybe it was red chips then. I mean, yeah, old LDS builds that we don't even need because we've got the fancy new LDS build anyway. But I think there are also... Is this one? Yeah. Oh, here's a place where we've got a bunch of beacons that we don't really need because we've already got better options. So these... I guess we're keeping this LDS build for the moment. I guess. But then also over, yeah, red chips, we don't need quite that many red chips because we've got a bunch of red chips patterns already. So we can throw in a bunch of very normal modules there to get our beacon capacity. And then there was, that red chips there is probably the same, isn't it? So let's have, then, yeah, let's get these guys a bunch of things that they want. You're also going to want stack inserters. I remember you wanting quite a few boxes. Are there other things you're going to... Stack inserters... Boxes was the thing that I picked up. And then what else are you complaining about? Probably arc furnaces and crushers and speed modules and things like that. So we can probably go and find... Yeah, metal casters and purifiers and arc furnaces and things like that. Yeah, we're just going to grab a bunch of these. Oh, and beacons. I wanted beacons as well. But you can also have beacons. I don't know if you needed any of those, but whatever, have them. Other things I just picked up. Oh yeah, the metal casters and purifiers and arc furnaces. That was probably not enough purifiers, was it? And then also crushing factories. You might need some more of these as well. I'm pretty sure you needed more of those. Let's just make sure you have a nice stash of helpful and useful things to take to the other place where we're trying to do the builds. That's nearly full. What else do we want to... Did you want chem plants? You did want probably a lot more crushing factories. Let's request these. Crushing factories, a fission stage. Fiber maker compound, crushing factory. Let's have another 40 of these. And then also, oh, you do need a bunch more prod mods as well, don't you? So that looks like you're full. Okay. In that case, just go over there and bots can... I think that grid has quite a few construction robots in it. We can go and check quickly. We've got 140 construction robots. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, and then there were a couple of places where I was going to drive around and do stuff, wasn't there? The first, yes, there was a red chips not that far out because it was still on the small grid. Was it this? Oh, I was going to have beacons and speed 3 modules when I did this, because I think the grids have kind of already run themselves out of those speed modules and whatnot. But I wanted to be... Is it that one? Is it this one? Places where we can recover modules, basically. Because we want to, yeah, just have some beacon capacity. You know, I wasn't expecting this kind of recovery to work at all, so maybe we do work on being able to do the blue chips things first. Seeing these, though, has reminded me that I don't think I want these at all at this point, although I wasn't expecting a train to be here. I was expecting to, like, I was going to be happier running down these, but apparently we are still sometimes using the stone, which is a little bit of a surprise. But yeah, we can just get rid of all of these things, and then I do still have these beacons in my paste buffer, so we can just drop those in there. Those beacons going to be fine. So we've got some beacons back. Let's go and visit the other place that's complaining about not having regular beacons. And then what is this pattern? That's the LDS thing that already, yeah, because we're fine for LDS, because the thing we really need to worry about, oh, we're here already. The things we really need to worry about are getting enough blue chips, which we're kind of doing at the moment by freeing up beacon allocation. The other place that struck me that we can save beacons is actually at the modules upgrade center, which is doing fine now. Like, there's a couple of modules left, but we're waiting on the Stokes 3 modules, which is actually also waiting for blue chips, because module upgrades take a lot of blue chips, which is, I think, the reason why blasting even more blue chips out is going to be a big deal. But we've got a lot of structured matter. I think we're here, aren't we? We are here. We've got a lot of structured matter. And then we've also got just a full chest of structured matter, and I basically don't think we need any of these beacons on the outside that are kind of low value. I think we can just, like, what speed are these things at? 13, 7? I mean, that's still pretty decent, and then these ones in the middle are still banging out 15.6. 15.6 speed with 20% productivity. I'm still going to have way more exotic material than I need for science. And yeah, we're now just, yeah, all of the science in the main base is now just powered by both of these, which is, let's increase that capability there, even though we've got a ton of it over here. And so this takes us up to, we've actually got 60 beacons to play with. That is not what I was expecting. Okay. Let's go and have a look at the blue chips. And basically, how many beacons is that? 34. I can fully re-beacon the entire blue chips again, which is not what I was expecting. I'm also not in the place where I wanted to be to do that, but I think that's okay. Yeah, we're just gonna wander all the way out here. I was expecting this to be a thing of, hey, here's like the next 5 or 6 things I'm going to build, which are going to be basically the same as we've already built, because that's how the grids work. And then these trains are getting kind of, because they're fast, they're getting slowed down by the other trains, which is also, you know, kind of fine. And yeah, do most of this construction kind of between episodes. But I didn't actually expect... What am I stuck on? Walk into the middle of this thing. Yeah, didn't really expect this build to be able to have all the beacons it could and still fit within the beacon capacity. The thing we still need to do at this point, though, is take all of... Okay, this thing no longer wants to be... Yeah. We want to get rid of all the train stations and request chests, but... I mean, we can put them back later. We can put them back later with another copy-paste, which is, you know, going to be completely fine. But now we've actually got all of these... Yeah, we can actually just figure out how to get the stuff in, for which I have a plan, which I have not mentioned yet. But that's actually, yeah, just a bunch of things we can build. Shouldn't you have... Ah, oh dear. Okay. Yeah, so we've got to go to... I sent this train here to the wrong depot. It went to the close depot instead of the far east depot, and as a result, the grid that was trying to build the things did not get the things it was trying to build. So we're gonna have to take... Yeah, we're gonna have to take all of these out. This is deconstructed stuff from the old nuclear power plant. I think we can have... Some of these things will be useful, and then, yeah, we've just basically got to get back all of the stuff that we put over here that was going to be useful. Crushers, all of these things, arc furnaces, yeah, cool. Beacons, modules, train stations, rail, yeah, all the stuff, which is... Do we actually have... I mean, what don't I want? I guess you can have pipes and things as well, because we're going to need that. Can I pick up all of... Not really. But you want... Actually, over here is where we want the rest of these things, and actually some of these... Yeah, because we've probably got more mining to do here as well, so these guys got to stay. Bit of a shame. Inventory is full. Oh, yes, because we've got picked up these lights as well. Okay. But we can still get a decent amount of stuff over to the other section of the base. Is that full now? No. Prod mod 3s, which are... Okay, whatever. Yeah, okay. Not this depot, as it turns out. You want to go to the very large east grid. and then unload all that stuff there. Is there other stuff that I kind of want to take over? Maybe? I mean, am I going to regret pulling all of these things out of these boxes also, maybe? You've still got some stuff. Oh, I needed the, did I give away? No, I didn't give away all the stack and sodas. Okay. We will recover that position. Okay, and then we shall also wander back out here because I've got more stuff. But yeah, so there's now, we've got beacons for all of this stuff, which is fine, but that wasn't actually ever going to be the beacons plan. The beacons plan was going to be, this is not where the grid is, this is, I mean, it's great that we helped build those things, but we wanted to be over here, and also just putting things in, distributing these back into this kind of system. Stack and sodas, no. Speed modules, other speed modules. I guess we're going to need chem plants at some point. Crushing factories. Those were things that we definitely needed over here. So compound material facilities, probably. This, yeah, this is also just full, isn't it? Let me just like landfill all of that, so that we can do a better job of them being able to put all these things. Just yeah, get those back to the base, I guess. Maybe we're doing some mining here, so maybe we leave the mining stuff here as well. What else didn't I want? Yeah, this and... okay, it's already full. Okay, yeah, you go and do that thing again. And... yeah, we're just going to have to get all of that stuff kind of built. We're going to need more beacons. We're going to need... yeah, we're just... all of this was going to be, hey, this is the next couple of builds that we're going to kind of slap together. Don't worry about it, especially as a lot of these things still need water. The plan for how I was going to get more beacons was actually just going to be, hey, let's go and do this beacon research. Let's go back to the beacons section while we're talking about that. That is the module upgrades. The beacons are... well, at least the beacon cores are over here. Yeah, because the plan was... get this tech. It requires 6,000 of these cubes that I don't have. I'm also kind of sharing those cubes over here, so I basically need a lot more cubes. And the thing is, the way we get more cubes is through these beacon cores, which are pretty busy all the time, but also, like, the tier 2 beacon cores cost basically a gigawatt for this bunch of cores, but each of these cores takes another 2 gigawatts. And I think, like, I don't need beacon cores to be distributing these effects at all. I just need beacon cores like this without modules to give me a lot of cubes. So I think the thing we're doing for that, I'm not sure about what I'm doing about this copper, but I think we're going to do the same thing of try not to stand on the rail, he said, and then walked across the rail as he was grabbing the blueprint. We've got to find somewhere to put this, which will basically just copy all of the blueprint. Yeah, we're just going to copy that entire blueprint. Let's put it... this is still all in the slightly east grid. Yeah, and then we've got the separated grid over there and also the separated grid here. So we need to break these grids as well at some point. Do we just put it over here? Well, there's actually train stations here that means we need to... yeah, we need to keep... I mean, for a while, we... actually, do we need to keep a train station there? Because we will be replacing all these trains with these new trains. I think we put it down here. So... let's wander... where were we? I said here looks like a good place. I think here looks like a good place. Actually, the half of this thing... we included this bottom section in the grid, but kind of didn't need to. There's nothing in this grid square that actually needs us to be splitting that off the grid. It's this bit up here that needs to be split off the grid. But I think we're still just going to go... here's a bit of grid stuff. There aren't too many trees here. What's over here? It's copper smelting. That's actually pretty good, because we did want copper smelting somewhere in order to do the other thing we wanted. But let's just also smack in this thing like here. Somewhat. Although the other thing we need to do, like this needs to not be there, we're going to have to, actually, I guess it's just like the obvious place is here. We're also going to have to do, and we don't have any tier 2 beacons to worry about, but we do want to get rid of all of the request stations and trains, just so we can get the rest of this thing built. But there's also a couple of complications in the sense that, yeah, I don't want one of those there. I want one of these here, which also means that we've got to do that kind of business to get fluid kind 1 in, and then also this kind of business to get fluid kind 2 in, and then also because we've bumped, we've taken away all of these providers, none of which we've automated yet, so this is all still a giant mess. All of these things that we've built will satisfy the same number of items, the same number of cores, but we've now got one more tier 3 core instead of a tier 1 core, which means, I mean, we went from 10, so I need to put another 2 of these in here, but also this smart stuff here no longer needs to exist, because that was, none of these have got, yeah, none of these have actually got the beacon core request stuff in it. Can I actually, I don't actually know if I can, I don't know if cores actually, oh no, they do rotate like that, don't they? We have rotated to the stuff before, but the thing that we need to do is, move this down to, I don't know, here, where it fits, so that we can have another 4 of these cores. There's a pole in the way, we can have another 4 of these cores, and then this thing is different here, and then this all looks like it needs to go back 1 square. And then, yeah, then there's some plugging in of this stuff to do. This actually, this is the tier, yeah, this is the one that needs, that actually lines up really well, kind of happy with that. And then this power pole doesn't need to exist, and then we've got to have some more fluid stuff going over here. So yeah, so I might need more uranium mining as well. So this should, yeah, this should be able to handle the extra Ki3 core for this kind of fluid, but then we also need to add over here. Oh, this tank was blocked. There was supposed to be another tank in here as well. Is it also just, it is just another 4 of these, isn't it? So I think we can just do that thing again. And then also just, yeah, not even worry about the rest of that. Just figure out where that tank used to be. It joins through to here. Oh, this particular bypass also doesn't really need to work, because this is all just, like, that bypass was to ensure that one kind, yeah, the module cores that were broadcasting the effects got preferential treatment, but we kind of don't need to worry about that at all, which means all of that can slide over, which means we can put one of these cores. This does now fit, which is super cool, and yeah, this also looks like this will work. Yeah, one of these here and one of these here, and then let's be able to walk through that. Yeah. Okay, one of these things can also go here, and that's all of those guys powered, and this is still... oh no, I deleted the train station, yeah. But also we don't have all these effects providers yet. But that is basically going to be the plan for how we get a bunch more of these cubes out. Although, yeah, this is again slightly lopsided, but I'm okay with that because where is my fast train? It's all the way back over here. You come over here. Why can I not... Am I clicking on the wrong thing? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, because we've got a bunch of things to automate now. and then other things to talk about. Yeah, so back in the labs... Where are the labs? Those are not... Oh yeah, these are the labs now. This is what the labs look like now. We've got a whole lot more red cubes than yellow cubes sitting around. What are we waiting for? Green science? Really? We're waiting on green science. That's not what I expected. Something was kind of what I expected. But yeah, we've got all of these. We've got a whole lot of more red cubes sitting around because there were various texts that we were doing that were yellow cube only. So we pushed through some of these cubes. And as a result, we've now got, 2,000 fewer yellow cubes than red cubes. So I'm fine with even further imbalancing the number of cores we've got out. And once these are equalized, we can just go back to changing those cores and doing that differently. I have... Okay, you guys can... I don't need you at all, but what we're actually going to do just quickly, because this turns out to be the science we are waiting for, and we do now have beacon capacity because... we just took away a bunch of those beacons, is down here. Yeah, we are now just sad for the amount of... Oh no, do we just need a faster train? Maybe we just... Yeah, maybe this just needs to come down to, like, 2 minutes or something. Because I was also expecting to need to do something like this at some point. Yeah, let's just do that, and then these ones won't get beaconed, and that'll kind of balance the ratios of green versus red. And then guess we also need to do these. And all of this stuff in terms of material cost is kind of cheap enough at the moment that I don't really have to worry about it. But this also takes us... Yeah, we've still got some beacon headroom to play with. You guys are... Yeah, that's fine, isn't it? I guess the thing is... These guys are not... Yeah, these guys weren't actually... We are going to limit this to... 1 stack for each of these central ones. 2 stacks. No, we can definitely do 1 stack, can't we? And so this will mean that these outside ones get more science in them, which will mean we load the trains faster. Maybe we should also be loading this from both sides of this network. Never mind. We'll just have the train run faster, and I guess we can also swap it out to another faster train. But... Yeah, so plan 1 of, hey, we've got a bunch of extra stuff down here. How are you guys doing? You've got only 18 construction bots. I should probably do something about that, because you guys are going to take a while to build all of that. And then also this train here, yeah, it wants to take... It's actually all standard stuff, isn't it? It's going to be all standard stuff. And then... this is actually just to the East Depot where we did send you before by mistake, and now we're sending you there deliberately. Yeah, we've got a bunch of new stuff to automate, but also throwing down another 6 of... Not those. Throwing down another 6 of these cores is going to give us quite the power grid headache. Yeah, we're going to have another... basically 13 gigawatts of power draw that we want, which is why we've got this box, which is a thing I highlighted earlier and then didn't really talk about, which this is requesting 24 stellarators and 240 big turbines, and we don't have all the big turbines yet, but that's fine, because one of the other parts of the plan of things we'll just build in between is... Yeah, this big block of fusion stuff, we're going to do this again twice, because we're already kind of getting up there in terms of power we're using. So I think we want... Yeah, this thing here with 12 stellarators will give us 24 gigawatts in total, but also each stellarator uses 400 megawatts. So we're only really getting like 20 gigawatts out of something like this. So definitely this twice more. And I think the plan for what we're doing is... Like, how wide... Yeah, so I can't fit it inside the grid. And then if I try to have it... If I try to take the 2 outsides, they're going to be really... I don't know if that's going to work. Whereas if I put this right on the end of the grid, then I can still have... a central rail part, which is you know, minimal but necessary. But I think we're going to put that all the way out here. Like, we're going to have one of these things down here, another one up here. We can landfill this. We can run some pipes through there. So I think, which spiders are these? These are. Yeah, these spiders will give us line of sight so we can start extending this rail grid like so. But I also don't think I necessarily... Like, I think I want to snap off... Is that a new grid? Is that already a new grid? Did I already snap this off? No. I think we want to get rid of these roboports here so that this is its own grid and we can give this its own construction robots, so that the robots building this grid and then everything else over here aren't flying all the way back to the mall, which is over here, which also doesn't have as much stuff as it needs, and we're still complaining about... I mean, we're still complaining about a lot of things. So that's why... Are we going to need the lead coolant heat exchangers as well, isn't it? Aren't we? These... Where is... that one's kind of a bad example because it's got the extra thing. But if we copy all of this, we're looking at, yeah, 12 stellarators, 120 big turbines, 60 lead coolant heat exchanger things. So this box here has 24 stellarators. It's asking for 240 big turbines, so we need to also ask for fusion stage, liquid heat exchanger, 120 liquid heat exchangers. So this is going to be all of the big power grid thing that we need. And do we go and break... Yeah, let's go and break that grid now, so we can also just kick that off as another parallel job for all the bots in the UPS queue to be super happy about. While we're wandering over there, let's also find... That's a small train station, isn't it? And these are... Yeah, we can just... Yeah, you need to go back to... You have unloaded everything you will unload. And then we're just sad about not having... actually not having all the logistics chests, which is understandable, and then not having all of the actually beacons as well. And then yeah, just not having all of the things that we have not automated, because I didn't think I'd need all of them before dropping down another 60 or so of these things. Yeah, give me this back. Give me this back. Am I on? I'm not on manual. So I think the next couple of hours of this playthrough are all going to be me just kind of massaging the next couple of builds into position. Do I have... I've got only 13... Okay. Let's do that manually so that we don't mess that up. Let's go over here. I want more construction bots. You guys can have 13 construction bots to start with. That's not true. The thing I need to do first is find... This is a depot? Yeah, this is a depot on a large grid, so we can just grab this and put it... Did I bring rail with me? This is not going to work because I don't have rail. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, we'll slap this blueprint here, and then we will have this thing here, and then I just need to come back with all of these parts, and then we can change this to... Yeah, what is this name? The secondary large east grid, subsequent large east grid, something like that. And yeah, we're gonna. I also need more construction bots, don't we? Let's go back to the core. I think I was supposed to be doing this in parallel while waiting for other stuff. That has not necessarily worked, but yeah, we'll have to push this grid all the way over here, which will also get us a bunch more building space. And then yeah, the other plan for... I didn't put any radars or anything down here. Oh well. Yeah, the other plan for having this blue chips over here is I want to train in the iron and copper. Because we've got some fancy new trains. The fancy new trains are pretty good at stuff, but the surprising thing about how good they are... These are all just regular things. I don't want those at all anymore. I think those also just have an upgrade path into the other ones, don't they? I will at some point need to be taking all this rail and then taking some signals and taking some rubber ports, and then where's you're here, which is cool because I wanted to give you various kinds of chests and also I guess stack inserters. There's probably a bunch of things you're complaining about not having, but yeah, have some tier 3 beacons, have some prod mods. Those weren't really even the things you needed. You needed these chests, and then I think you also needed a decent number of stack inserters. Yeah, okay. You just go this grid. Yeah, do I want to go and kick off that other build first? I need filtered stack inserters, which I think is in... Do I have... I don't have filtered stack inserters in either of these, even though this is kind of the... Yeah, this is the setup system, but we also don't have... Cool, yeah, sure. Do I have... Yeah, let's wander over here. We need to go and automate these other things, but these are... Yeah, tanker wagons. We're going to grab a couple of those so we can talk about them as we head over. Do I have cliff explosives? Yes. Train stuff? Yes. Other kinds of power poles. And then also provider chests, and then also bots. So let's make sure we have a decent number of these things. Yeah, here are all the old blueprints that I no longer kind of need anymore. Let's have... And then I don't want any of this yellow belt that I don't plan on using again. And then there was another thing I was thinking about, wasn't there? As these chests, these things... What else do I... Oh, I also didn't leave a... Oh no, I did leave a radar there. I also have Spidertron sitting over there. I think that's everything I need to... These power poles... Advanced rubber ports, charging stations. Let's get some charging stations from here. Yep. Okay. Go back, kick off this grid extension because things getting larger is always great. Oh yeah, other quite important details. Where's this show detailed time usage? Is this the one that I wanted to look at? Yeah. This, okay, cool. So when I was looking at this without recording stuff, this update was sitting at 8 milliseconds per cycle. And I guess there is a lot of stuff in the bot queue at the moment that they might not be happy about. But if we are doubling a lot of stuff, we also run the risk of this number going above 16. And above 16 is the place where we start to worry about having actual UPS issues in ways that are not so much fun. So that's also one of the things that I was thinking about, that I thought I had more headroom than I did, and it turns out we kinda don't. Anyway, you can have all of these bots, and then you can just have stuff. Yeah, have some of these, have some of these, have actually all of this stuff. I don't think I'm going to be hugely needing it immediately, and I still have all these old wagons as well. Never mind. Yeah, so bots can go and be building that, which is nice. We want to back up a little bit so we can go back to the core because there were other things we wanted to automate. Yeah, so 16 here is pretty... I mean, maybe this is also just because... Did I not give them storage chests? Did you guys not get storage chests? You guys didn't get storage chests. I thought I gave you... I apparently didn't have any storage chests, so that's super unfortunate. But we kind of needed to take some more things over there anyway. Yeah, trying to figure out whether or not I even had the UPS to go from basically 1.5 thousand SPM to basically 3. So yeah, that's because I don't really want to be doing super UPS constrained annoying stuff like that. I would rather just have everything be good. Is this box over here? Why aren't you getting neodymium? Do we even have a neodymium request? in the main Chaos Mall. This might be another thing that we need to add. I don't think I'm seeing neodymium in there anywhere. Titanium and gold, yes. Which is funny because I don't think I have all that stuff to do with much stuff to do with gold. Okay, so let's find one of these. Let's use, please. Plastic, explosives, fusion tech, lithium. Yeah, this one here is one that is not doing anything. We are going to change this to a neodymium reception station and set this to be a fission stage. I don't think I need a whole lot of this, do I? In fact, I don't know if I'm automating anything here that isn't just those drone parts, but I wanted some more construction robots, yeah, which I can't have because I don't have the drone parts that I need, so I'm not really getting in a whole lot more construction robots myself, which is a little bit of a shame. You guys, oh, you've got 23 construction robots that I can have, so we will. Yes, this train can probably come back to the build and we'll give it some more stuff. Where are we? We are all the way over here. Because we've got some number of bots which we'll hand off, and yeah, and then also these tanker wagons. So these trains are super fast, and also these tanker wagons have a storage volume of 200,000, which is kind of incredible. A train, like a 1-4 train with 800,000 fluid units on it, is already pretty good, but the thing that's going to make this even wilder is, where is it? I just got to go all the way back over here. All the star engines currently over here. Yeah, because we're talking about how we're going to get iron and copper into the blue chips, and there's this, like, the stuff that comes out of the star engine is a fluid, and is converted at this recipe at a rate of 1:1. So already being able to fit 800,000 iron in one train is kind of a big deal, but if we did something like 4 of these wagons, this is now a train that can carry 800,000 iron, or 800,000 steel. Let me give these guys some more bots. Did you also get... Yeah, I just kind of need to bring you more stuff, don't I? That's kind of fine. So yeah, and this is also still, like, this is also still a train that can't go anywhere because the rest of the grid isn't built. But that's okay, we can still back this up. It's still a pretty fast train. Even with these other wagons on the back, it is still super speedy, doesn't need fuel, and so I think what we're going to do is we're going to figure out, because the other thing that struck me is these star engines, like the other part of this that makes this crazy, is that these star engines are spitting out, like this arm by itself is spitting out 500 of this fluid iron per second, and 500 a second is simultaneously quite a lot of iron, but also not very much fluid for a pump. So I reckon I could have 3 or maybe 4 of these star engines all pumping into tanks in a fluid station that are putting this weird atomic fluid iron onto trains that can carry 800,000 iron around the place pretty quickly, and I think that's how we're going to get iron and copper to these blue chips after we figure out some other things. And there's also just a fluid train station, so it can go, I mean, so it's probably going over here because there isn't quite enough space here. Still need to break those logistics ports at some point. Oh, you guys need beacons and crushers and purifiers. Okay, let's do all of that as well. Beacons, metal casters, arc furnaces, purifiers, beacons, purifiers, metal casters, arc furnaces. You also needed some of these guys, didn't you? Let's just grab, you know what, a bunch of these. You can have a bunch of these things, and then also speed 3 beacons, for which we are still slowly making speed 3 beacons, which is probably also, it's in the large east grid, isn't it? Yes. And then also we need to put a bunch of landfill into yeah, landfill and rail and stuff like that into the new east large grid. Okay. So yeah, so that's going to be mostly the plan. We're going to do a bunch of Star Engine stuff, but the Star Engine stuff is also going to cost, like, if I'm saying I want another, like, 4 of these, each of these Star Engines also does, like, a gigawatt for the Star Engine core, and then another gigawatt across these two. So another 4 of these is going to be another, like, 8 gigawatts. Green chips are mostly fine. Let's just check on red chips. Let's check on the red chips that's further away. Red chips also, I mean, getting, yeah, mostly fine. It is just the blue chips, isn't it? Yeah, blue chips are still producing a lot of stuff and are still just not quite happy about having all the stuff, which is fine. Yeah, other reasons for, if I'm throwing another 8 or 9 or 12 or however many Star Engines down, I'm going to need basically twice that number of gigawatts to power those Star Engines, which is also the other reason why we're going to have this box with, yeah, so we're working towards having the number of big turbines we want, stellarators, and, oh wait, we're also still, I was looking at the wrong thing. We are still waiting for a bunch of thermochemical separators, not those, heat exchangers, and also big turbines. But what we're going to do instead is, we need, oh actually, I was going to do the other way around, wasn't I? I was going to do something like 6 and 4, because we also need a bunch more cores. We need Ki2 cores, and we need 4 of these, so each of those boxes can request all of that stuff. And then we're going to need some Ki3 cores, and we need 6 of those, so we can request all that stuff. So I can handcraft those at some point, once bots end up delivering all the stuff is fine. I think, do I just also end up reusing all these beacons? I think I might. Because, yeah, kind of do this with provider chest so we don't grab the recipe. Because then the next thing we've got to do is also just have, what do we want? We want the tier 1 things. Are they, yeah, so those are the 2 tier 1 things, and then we also want the tier 2 energy provider from the fission stage, and then also the tier 3 provider from the fusion stage. And I don't know that these guys are worth beaconing, but also those beacons are there, whatever, and I can swap around these, like I can move all of these over here or somewhere else later if I decide that there's something else that I really want to beacon intensely. But yeah, we're just gonna kind of slap all these things in, and then also we want to modulate these inputs, yes. And then because I don't think we want more than, this is the fusion stage one, isn't it? I don't think we want a whole lot of these things. If we've got 4, if we've got less than 4, give it ingredients, otherwise not. So let's set all of these, and then this one is the tier 3 one, the tier 2 energy for the tier 3 core, which is not that one. This one here is the one with the smaller squiggle. Yeah, and then this one here is with the blue glob. Technical words. Technical Factorio player. Yeah. So all of these things are checking whether or not they're getting enough stuff, which is fine. And then, also these are really slow, aren't they? Yeah, these really slow crafting speeds means that I am pretty happy just assigning these things to the chests and not worrying about getting huge amounts of stuff delivered. Oh, I guess I am beaconing this. But this is still, yeah, the size of these requests is not something that's going to break these chests, which is fine. So now we can just plug all of this stuff in. And we're now making all those things that we need, which is good. And then we wander back here, and we're only making small numbers of things over there. But over here, we want some number of each of these things, of which I forget how many I threw down. 38 of each of the tier 1s. So we're just going to request that. 38. And then also these ones, 38. And then these other... Oh wait, it should be 38 for the tier 3s as well. And then, yeah, 38 for the tier 3s, and then some smaller number, 38, 24. Okay. And those ratios are kind of okay. Also 38. And then also 24. Okay, so at some point we will have all of these things turning up in the way that we want to. I wanted some boxes for myself. Didn't actually specifically want these boxes. I wanted to get rid of all of these boxes. Actually, of all these things, none of these are being delivered. Oh wow, was there an LDS train just sitting there waiting to go somewhere? Why did they get all of this LDS? Never mind. Yeah, none of these boxes are receiving requests anymore, which... Oh wait, no, some of these... What is this thing that is 10 on the end? The crushing factory or the nuclear assembler? Crushing factory, nuclear assembler, these... Because these ones are short on crushing factories. So we can't actually go and just make these yet, and these ones are also short on blue ships. Okay, because I put all these things down to be able to pick all of this stuff and craft these cores, but I'm actually not in a position to craft the cores yet, because we don't have enough crushing factories and we don't have enough blue chips. Blue chips is the thing we're working on, kind of. Yeah, let's just go and grab some useful stuff, have this train come back to the build, because we kind of want to get all of the things. We've actually got more rail over here, don't we? Yeah, this is an array of the stuff that we want to give to this train. It's going to be more lineful than I want, isn't it? Should we also swap out this train? Maybe? How many of these train parts do I have? 13 wagons, 15. I mean, we can actually make... Yeah. That's actually pretty compelling. I think I want to swap out my build train to have... Oh, I've already got one of these, and then there's one in the core. Yes, but let's also never be short of these things, because I can always, like, accidentally leave one somewhere. And then also because of these productivity bonuses, I think what we're going to do is... Like, I don't actually know what these stack to, but we are going to ramp up the number of these things we build, especially also these fluid... I don't think I'm going to need that many fluid wagons. These ones can go back, because I don't need them yet. And yeah, we'll just build a bunch of these things, and then later pull the productivity modules out. We'll just get a bunch of these things with productivity, and then pull back the reasonably expensive productivity modules. And then I wanted to... can actually connect them to the other train. That's pretty funny. Yeah, you want all of these, you want all of the... I want some of the cliff explosives, but you want power poles, you want... Yeah, just a bunch of extra stuff. Because the... I guess these ones we can leave, because I don't really want to faff around with these limits again. Actually... Can I... Yes... Because I think there's going to be a thing where these, like the kind of trains we're going to have, are going to struggle with the kind of wagons that we're pulling. Because there's a difference in weight between, yeah, weight 1,000, weight 10. This is set up so that we can kind of only use... I'm going to need another one of these, though. Yeah, we can kind of only use the right kind of wagons with the right kind of trains, but that's fine. I think yeah, let's get rid of all of... We're going to have to get rid of these insert... Actually, are we? That did what it needed to, and now I've got the 4th wagon for which we can do the same thing here. Pull everything back out, put everything back in, and yeah, now we should be able to have all of these inserters back. And this is, yeah, this fourth thing goes here, and then we've got, yeah, a lot of stuff that we don't need, but that's fine. This is also still the train that has all the previous schedule as well, which means you can have even more rail, which is cool. You can have even more charging stations. 'Cause this is this is the one we're going to send out to the new grid. What even do I want to? I'm like in the space of not even really caring what I pick up and give to this train at the moment. It can have all of the things. Yeah, give me these back. You guys want to compress better. Charging stations. More rail. You can probably have more rail. Oh, actually, more of these. Yeah, more of those poles. These are the kind of poles that power the. Yeah, that's a pretty happy train, isn't it? You go to the new large. Yeah, you can go to the new large grid. So we've got, yeah, all of these guys still waiting for their blue chips. Are they still waiting for their blue chips? They're still waiting for their liquid heat exchangers, which is not unfair because I also asked for a lot of these liquid heat exchangers. Overall, I think we're basically just in a spot of I just go and build a bunch of things. Like all of the new stuff will be, hey, let's just copy and paste one of these things around. Oh, we also still need beacons for that. Not unexpected, probably fine. And then yeah, we just sort of drop these in place. Do a star engine thing somewhere. Where am I going to get? Maybe this like here. I think we're pretty much already full on, unless we start landfilling things where we start engine stuff. The other thing I like about taking like this much of this build and actually this much as well, just not any of this stuff, is that none of this star engine stuff has anything that needs to be separated from the main logistic network. So all of these requests can just happen in the grid, and then we only need to break. Whereas a thing I can mouse over, we only need to break this Roboport grid at the places where we're actually making the blue chips. So yeah, so that's going to be things we get around to later. How are we doing on having all of this stuff? Yeah, that's kind of filling up. These guys are also kind of, yeah, what we're going to do is we're just going to go to this tech for a while, because this one will... Yeah, this one's going to chew through vast amounts. Like, it uses science 50 times faster than usual. So we don't have all of this yet. But this will be... let's not look at the bots flying around, because the bots are going to be wild. But that will let us be not really inserter blocked for... Well, no, it'll move the bottleneck from the inserter to the... Move the bottleneck from the lab to the inserter. I was wondering about upgrading all these inserters as well. Actually, not those ones. The ones for these. What are you guys waiting on not having? Concrete. Concrete was the thing that I thought I had resolved. Okay. So I guess for the last thing, and it's also just at the rate at which stone is being made, which I think I'm okay with. Is there somewhere there's like some furnaces making stone or something, just in this weird bit of logic grid? I thought there were. There's two of these things making stone. Okay, let's go, and I've got some speed module 2s. You guys can have some speed module 2s, and then I guess also let's just slap this here. Is fine. We're going to make more stone. I think the thing that I was wondering about is whether or not I move around how I'm making stone and landfill and stuff like that. You guys are... Yeah, we are just inserter bottlenecked on this, which is kind of funny. But yeah. So yeah, we're building up boxes of things that we're going to roll out and deploy in various places. Have we extended this bit of grid to the extent that we can? No, because we didn't give chain signals. Okay, fine. That's fine. We don't really need the chain signals anyway. These guys can just go and keep building grid. Is completely fine. yeah, we're gonna grid build all this stuff all the way out to this lake, so we've got some more water, so we can put down some more power grid. And the power grid is gonna look like this, so we're gonna skip that between episodes. We're going to probably copy the red and blue chips, and also green chips as well. I mean, the setups will end up. I don't think I'm. Am I still using this setup for green chips? I think I wanted to change the setup for the red chips, because I'm not convinced that, like, how many number of effects receivers? 10. Yeah, I don't know that 10 is a number of effects receivers I'm happy about. 16 is better. 14 is kind of okay. I think the thing I concluded is, like, this is currently doing 3 to 1, but also some of them are blocked on just not getting enough stuff in, so that needs to change. I think I wanted to do something like, yeah, we can do this down here. I think I concluded that with the productivity bonuses I was expecting, this can probably handle 4 to 1. And if I do this in a pattern like so, then I guess, how is this getting, I guess it has to go here. Because the thing I was thinking is I can have, I guess, even multiple inputs and outputs somewhere. And yeah, so we're going to have, if these are the outputs, then this one has to have, yeah, so this is going to be a new pattern that's kind of working more towards, actually let's put these all kind of in the, yeah, let's go across this way. Because we again want to do this thing where, do I have, yeah, these K3 beacons, can we fit here? So that's going to be hitting, what, 6 on, yeah, it's actually, and then where's, so this one will hit 10, this one will hit 14. So yeah, so if we're doing this kind of nonsense, and we're turning this again into a like a larger grid of stuff, then yeah, then this, does this get enough copper? Maybe, probably. I think we can, like, we can probably beacon these a bit harder. Not sure. So there might be a new red chips pattern that works on tiling more like how the new green chips and how the blue chips work, which might do a better job of resolving some of the slowness of the red chips. But also, if we get all of the new beacon cubes, it might not matter because we just put down more beacons. And so yeah, we've just got a bunch of new builds to just continue to manage. We're upgrading some modules over here, which is fine. We've got all of this built except for the cores and yeah, except for the cores and except for the energy providers, and also some of the storage chests, which is also fine. Then we need to put the train stops back. Let's move this to here. That's also going to be fine. This guy's powered by here. Yeah, so we just need to get the things to build all this kind of stuff. We'll just, like, yeah, basically just copy all of these builds out again, and fiber maker, yeah, of course they need fiber makers, it's fiberglass. Yeah, copy all these builds out again, plug a bunch of stuff in. Yeah, these labs are still just mostly inserter bottlenecked. Don't need military science. What does this not have? I don't think that needed military science. 5, 6, 7, and then what was it that you don't have? Is it blue science? Red, green, blue, purple, yellow. No, green science. This one is also still lacking green science, so we didn't actually resolve that. So this train is going to get replaced with, yeah, another, I guess, yeah, so this is the third last thing we're doing. Cool, never mind. Suspension wagon 2, yeah, give me some suspension wagons. Give me another one of these. And we're going to wander over here for the actual last thing. And these are not limited, but they kind of want to be limited. The only reason why we're upgrading this train is for the faster locomotive. Then, yeah. I wondered whether that was going to happen. Get all that out of there. Put one of these fancy wagons in. This just lost the schedule, didn't it? It did lose the schedule. That was silly. Never mind. Go back to 4 so that we are... like, all the numbers still work in the same way. You can have all of the military science back. And then I guess we just reconstruct this train schedule. Yep, this one is science unload. The science are for, let's say, 30 seconds. And then we need to go to the military science as well, don't we? What did I even call those things? Science collection? Is that what it's called? Over here, not there. It is over there. This one. Science collection. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that should bring back a bunch of this green science much faster. I guess I don't need this anymore. Yeah, and so there's a bunch of stuff for me to manage. Exotic science is still fine. These guys are productivity moduled as well. Module upgrades are working, which means we've got some kind of green chips or some kind of blue chips. Yeah, lots of things. Basically, we're just gonna go and double everything and see how the UPS handles stepping up to 3K science per minute. That's yeah, sure. It'll be fine as long as the bot queue isn't busy. It'll be fine.